All right, thank you. One of the questions from the audience: after the presidential debate last night, what are your views on education, specifically either reducing the class size by hiring more teachers or maintaining the class size by not hiring more teachers? Mr. Hightower, we'll begin with you.
I thought I watched the foreign policy debate. They debated education. I must have missed that part. The thing about education, besides the question, is we have to have an education system that produces results. And who's going to measure those results? And that's where all this testing is coming in, taking money away from the education side. So my theory on education is get more of it. Get your kids involved in education. Send your kids to college. Send them to technical school. Provide more opportunities. One of the things I get from going and really talking to voters in the district, not just the elected officials or Chamber of Commerce members, but like actual people when you knock on their door, is we have a problem in this district I was unaware of, and that's when kids have a discipline problem, they're being ejected from the schools. And so we're getting a big problem where they don't have anywhere to go. And if you look at our prison population in Kentucky, 70% of our prison population didn't graduate from high school. So the last thing we want to do is get rid of kids out of school that are having discipline problems. We may need a different environment for them than our traditional school system, because when they become disruptive, that's a problem. But we have to have choices. We can't just turn our back on kids that may get bored in school. Not everyone has a strong family at home. I know. I was raised in a broken home. I know what it's like to grow up and not be able to find yourself. And you'll be looking for opportunities. You're looking for things. You may not be plugged in when you're 15 and 16 to what you need to be plugged in. So I'm very concerned about creating those opportunities for all students, not just the ones that are academically and also emotionally in tune.
All right, thank you. Representative King, after the presidential debate last night, what are your views on education, specifically reducing the class size by hiring more teachers or keeping the classes the same by not hiring more teachers?
Well, having had teachers in the family, I can tell you that this discussion has come up a lot. And I do know from the few years I spent in the Head Start program, I had 22 kids in the classroom, and 5 or 6 of those kids were special needs kids, and they required extra attention. Now, we're going to normally assume that when we're going to talk about these kids that they're not going to be special needs kids in the classroom. Technology today, I know, does help out tremendously with teaching. Todd County's so fortunate to give the kids laptops to help out with their education. But I don't think anything can take the place of a teacher in the classroom giving that time and attention to those kids. And I think that it's proven fact that the more teacher time that you have for that student, the better that student's going to fare. Not every child is one that can absorb the knowledge quickly and easily. I know that all children are different. As I said about my husband at an earlier time, if you said, Stephen, read the book or dig the ditch, he's looking for the shovel. The one-on-one time with teachers is very important, and I would say that we do need smaller classrooms and more teachers. I don't think that there's any way we can underestimate the impact these teachers have. And the CEOs in these countries, in our country, to the big companies that make $23, $24 million a year, bring them down here and put them in a classroom for a year or two, and then they'll go back saying, wow, those teachers earn their money and they deserve it. So I'm for as many teachers as we can get to adequately teach our children, and I think the expansion of that would be a good thing.
All right, thank you. Mr. Hightower? The last question. All right, go to the last question.